in your military appreciation, the Chinese air defense system, the Chinese radars, the Chinese offensive capabilities like the PL-15 air-to-air missile, or the Chinese J-10C fighter jets, their latest, or the JF-17s, which only, of course, Pakistan uses. In your appreciation, were they found to be subpar compared to, if I may, India's BrahMos supersonic cruise missile, going more than 3 times the speed of sound, slamming into targets, decimating targets, including the Chinese systems?
Undeniable. And like you said at the beginning of the show, the satellite imagery showing undeniably that system that was meant to prevent that attack didn't work for you. So that's undeniable that the Chinese systems were viewed subpar to Indian capabilities. But I also take that with a bit of hesitation because now they get to make changes. So it isn't like you'll
Yes.
always have that superiority, but clearly India's investments, the way you put all this together because it's not one magic capability, it's not one magic missile. It takes all kinds of systems from air, basically coverage, electronic warfare, all of this suite of systems, both offensive and defensively. India showed and demonstrated overwhelming military superiority in every aspect of that.
Oh, you're absolutely right. The Harap kamikaze drones, that would slam into a radar or the vital assets and vital points. Colonel, there's another aspect I want to draw your attention to. Was India fighting not just Pakistani terrorists and Pakistani state, their armed forces in defense of terrorists, but there are intelligence reports that seem to indicate there were Turkish drone operators and their Bayraktar, the TB2, the Yeehaw drones operated by Turkish operators. Apparently, the PL-15 and other Chinese systems were operated via remote, maybe from a third location. What does that indicate about this warfare and the future of warfare?
I mean, we've been watching for a long time, and the Turkish TB2 Bayraktar has been since 2020, if not before, a big player in this evolution of drone warfare added into a total suite of capabilities and this is why I viewed it was pretty alarming when I saw the drone swarm that was sent towards India because that's a tactic in the modern battlefield as well is you start with the drone swarm to overwhelm the air defense systems and then you follow that on with missiles demonstrating this swarm attack that luckily that wasn't happening because India's capabilities were so the third order and the basically offsetting capability where you offset a capability from where your deception is always a part of the game. But what I take conclusively is what they were definitely trying to destroy targets in India and were unable to do that despite the tactics that they attempted to use based on their Chinese advisors as well.
Interesting. Chinese advisors telling the Pakistan army what to do, Pakistan army unable to deliver. Future warfare is something we'll talk about. So, the manner in which Pakistan has been hit, there are intelligence reports that seem to indicate they've lost an advanced airborne early warning and command and control system. They've apparently lost a couple of F-16s. They've lost some JF-17 fighters, and the damage across air bases from Noor Khan to Sargodha to Jacobabad, from Skardu to Bhulari in Sindh, the Malir cantonment radar. Is this perhaps the highest cost imposed on terror ever? If you were a Pakistani general, if you were Asim Munir, what would be going through your mind?
Well, I've heard that that was an amazing breakdown, and you could do my job for me. Um, I've heard that there's a lot of instability within the Pakistan military right now because of this. It's embarrassing that all your work showed not to do what you said it could do. Um, I think there's a lot of interest to do some rapid changes. This is where the enemy always gets a vote. The use of the proxy warfare, the investments in these technologies. They're going to try to do a lot of rapid changes so they think they can get ahead of. And this is why I view all warfare as asymmetric because you're always trying to find your enemy's weakness and not play to their strength. So I think there's going to be some leadership changing. There's some instability there, which is concerning, but also in the technologies of they're going to try to use legacy systems and build redundancies while they look to see what actually went wrong. How did India do this? And that's that kind of classified stuff that we won't be able to see. But this is also a new type of warfare where everyone can see the results. it's some of the reasons that the disinformation and Pakistan tried what I'm calling this first to lie tactic, right? Where they were lying about how many Indian systems they downed and all of this stuff. We used to say first to the truth was the best strategy. Pakistan seemed to try the first to the lie, but in the modern battlefield, that's really hard to do when we have satellite imagery, and it's really hard to even lie to your own population. So all this builds a very concerning, if I was I'll never be a Pakistan military leader. I have a lot of problems right now, a lot of chaos and uncertainty on what the path forward with. Luck, hopefully, it's a change in culture, as in, I mean, we've had some problematic statements from even Pakistan generals saying that terror is the way forward and this is the advantage. And that'll take a lot more than just this operation to change, but this should be the start of it. And this is where I want to see global disavowalment of that state-backed terrorism within the Pakistan almost institutional approach.
And sadly, that doesn't seem to be happening. You've seen statements of Donald Trump, and this almost a 180-degree change from what he'd said in 2019 when he hit out at Pakistan for being a state sponsor of terror. I mean, considering so many American lives were lost in Afghanistan, you know that firsthand. That was because of Pakistan's military terror network and their double dealing with the Taliban, with the terrorists, and yet these statements from Donald Trump, the boathisms that he's indulging in?
Yeah, one I absolutely know. I mean, the fact that Osama bin Laden was found in down the street from the Pakistan Military Academy, the fact that Pakistan gave refuge to the Taliban every fighting season, they just go to the border, support of that activity. Our president is doing a lot right now. I believe in our new administration absolutely is against terrorism. It's against new extremist states from getting nuclear weapons. And this is another demonstration of why you don't want them to be, because they attempt to get away with all this backing of terrorism to try to do bad things. I believe that he's interested in ensuring that there is an escalation. And India and the United States have had a great relationship for a very long time, and I hope that strengthens two of the greatest nations on the earth.
Oh, absolutely.